Hello everyone, it's Safrina Kadri from Feng Shui and Prosper, and today we are talking about the role of the front door and Feng Shui. I have just a couple of notes that I think are the concerns or questions that have been coming up over and over again, but if you guys have any questions relating to Feng Shui and the door, feel free to comment in right here. If you're watching me live, comment right here on Facebook. If you're watching the replay on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment under the video and I'll get an answer to you as I'm able to. Hello. So, the front door is really, really important in any space, because technically in Feng Shui, that is where the most energy usually comes through, is brought into the home. And so the location of the door is really, really important. When I help my client design their home or their office from the ground up, it doesn't happen very often. But when I have the luxury of helping my client really design the space to be as prosperous, as abundant as possible, a lot of care is taken into where to locate the door. Now, if you're already in a space where the door is already set, obviously there's not much you can do. But in terms of the role of the front door, as much as you can, you want it located in a good energy. Now, in a live stream, there's only so much, teaching nuggets I can give you. But what determines good energy or bad energy in classical Feng Shui? First, you need to determine the period of the home. Then you need to determine the facing of your home. I say home, but it's for any building, really. Okay. And then from there, you calculate the permanent energy, and you look at the layout and see where your door is. And to be honest with you, of course, the main door is really important, but you also can take a look at the door of each individual room too, right? The door of the office, the door of the bedrooms. Where are the doors located? And why is the location so important? Because that's where people come in and out. Whether you like it or not, whether the energy is positive or not positive, because it is the door. The foot traffic that comes through the door will activate the energy there. So really, if you put the door in a money location, for instance, then simply by walking in and out of that door, you're activating the energy there. Remember, and I've said this many times, Feng Shui is not always about putting stuff. It's about usage as well, okay? If anything, it's 50% usage, 50% placement. So it's not always what you put, okay? Remember that. It's also usage. So even if it's a money door, it's what I call money door, and you come in and out of that door, you don't need to put anything there. You're already activating money energy. Okay, and I've seen this in my almost 10 years as a Feng Shui consultant. I've seen this over and over again. So many of you guys are probably wondering, where's the money door? I can't tell you right off the bat. Those of you guys who are in manifesting code, you have my wealth chi modules. You know where the money power spots are. So you take a look. Is your door or your, is the main door or your, individual room doors, are they located in a money spot? So if you happen to have a door in the money spot, that could be great, for a room, for instance. That would be great if for you to turn it into a home office, let's say, especially if you work a lot from home. Okay, so however, there have been situations where I can count a couple of my retail clients and even a couple of my residential clients where the door really was located in a very negative positioning. Now, if you don't have the luxury of renovating or changing your door, obviously you remedy it as needed. But I've had a couple of situations where I'm like, I wonder if you would be open to moving the door, especially since the permanent energy is so negative. And to my surprise, I've had a couple of clients who actually took me up on that recommendation. And, a few months later, they come back and say it was expense, but it was a good investment to me because they could see the shifts in the energy that comes in. Okay. And I get this question all the time as well. What color should the door be? Over and over again. There is, and there's the idea of fast food feng shui, right? You guys hear me talk about this all the time, where they say, the door, the color of your door is dependent on the direction. So if you have an east door, because the east is the element of the wood, then you need a green door. If you have a south door, because it's the fire element, then you need a red door. Nuh-uh. This one you need to change. Or even there's that generalized idea that a red door is auspicious. I know a couple of you guys in Manifesting Code painted your door because you realized after delving into some of the modules there that the red door was the last thing you needed, right? So you cannot base your door color on merely the direction. If you're looking at Flying Star Feng Shui, for instance, if there's a 5 or a 2 at your door, either the mountain star or the water star, and you use a red, you're really just like shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, either in terms of your health and relationship or in terms of finances. So be very, very careful with a red door, or even figuring out the door color just based on the direction is not enough. Okay, that is not really how it should be done. If this is a good segue, the door is not always the determinant factor of the facing of the home. Now, how many of you guys are aware of the term, the facing of the home? Because a lot of you guys watching this who still follow fast food feng shui, you probably have never heard of this term before. So the facing of a home or a building really is the direction that a building is facing, and that is the energy that is impacting the energy internally. Okay, I hope I'm explaining it properly. I lost my train of thought there. I know there are questions coming up, but I'll go back to them once I'm done with my notes. So there are situations where the facing of the home is east, let's say, but the door is designed in a way, the house or building is designed in a way that the front door is actually facing a different direction. Let's say if it's facing north, right? And actually, those of you guys who joined Feng Shui 2019, just a quick segue. Those of you guys who joined Feng Shui 2019, we have bonus webinar number 3 coming up this Sunday, I believe, the 6th. Saturday. This weekend, I will be sending out an email sometime today with some basic explanations and a couple of videos for you guys to go through to help you in terms of determining the facing and the period of your home. And in terms of the facing of the home, I have a couple of videos that shows you why always taking your front door as your facing can be dangerous. Now, it's 95% of the time the front door is the facing, but there's that little sliver of, of a unique layout where the door is facing one direction, but the house is facing a different direction, which then determines your building or your home spacing. So I have a more in-depth, I think it's like a 16-minute video to go through those case studies for you there. Okay. So usually the facing of your home, for instance, is based on the address. So let's say your home is number 8 Apple Street. Okay, so this is your home and Apple Street is there. Then you take your compass reading on the side of the house that is facing Apple Street. Okay, because that's your facing. And you're lucky if your home is facing Apple Street and your main door is also facing Apple Street, then there's no confusion there. But what if your door is like, let's say it's tilted a little bit and it's facing northeast? Does that mean that your home is facing northeast? No, it's just the door that's facing northeast, but the home is still facing east, which is Apple Street, as an example. Okay. Again, that's part of the reason why just reading a book on Feng Shui, like you guys who have followed me in, in my previous annual Feng Shui webinars or who are taking Manifesting Code, aren't you guys starting to realize why I can't give out generalized answers on the live stream? Because we need so much more information before we determine the answer, right? So reading a book, one book specifically on Feng Shui is not going to answer a lot of the uniqueness that you see in your layout. Okay. What else do I have here? I'm almost done with my notes. After that, I'll go into your questions. The door is not how you place your bagua or determine your direction. So again, this is what I call fast food Feng Shui. There are schools of thought. This is actually the very first commandment to break. This is the super myth. Do not put your bagua based on the door. Like there are certain schools that says the door will determine your north. It doesn't matter what the compass says. The direction of the door is the north direction, and then you superimpose the bagua on that, and then you do your Feng Shui placements on that. Big no. Okay. And I get this question all the time as well. Does it matter if the doors open out or open in? I don't know what the belief is. I think they don't want it opening out because the wealth is going to go up. I really have no idea. But honestly, in 10 years, I have not seen door opening or door inwards or outwards having any bearing at all on the prosperity-ness of a space. The important thing is the location of the door and preferably a good direction too. But that's a little bit more advanced. And in 6 methods Feng Shui, which is 6 methods or Liu Fa, is not something that is very well known yet because, to be honest, it is a branch of classical Feng Shui that has been kept secret. A lot of the grandmasters either stopped passing the knowledge down, I don't know why, or they keep it to a small group. Now, I am lucky enough to have been taught the 6 methods by my grandmaster, and this is when you realize the door is so important in Feng Shui because we tap into the wealth mouth based on the door. There are certain compass readings in the 360 degrees where you kind of, okay, where is the door and where are the directions that you can activate? And you activate either with a water feature, if it's not a bedroom, or you activate with like usually water feature, but you can activate with moving objects. And so this is activation based on the door. It can be a room door, it can be a house door. So that is the 6 methods Feng Shui. And that has been, that is only something that I do with my private consults. And also not all rooms can take a 6 methods activation as well. Not all homes can do it. So it is a pretty unique, pretty rare to deploy, but if it is deployable, then it is a good thing, definitely for whoever space it is. So good question there. Is it true that there shouldn't be a tall tree outside front door? Yes, that is definitely very true. Because especially even worse if the tree is kind of like split like that, if there's like a main tree trunk and then it kind of splits into a Y. It's okay if it's bushes, but if it's like one tree right outside your door. So if your So if you're standing at your door and you have like an invisible line out the frames of your door, if the tree is within that those two invisible lines, then that's considered like a sha-qi, which is like killing energy. I know it sounds bad, but it does weaken the energy that comes in the door. So, and I've seen this over and over again in many case studies, and even in my own experience seeing clients' homes. Even if your home is located in an auspicious location, if you have structural issue, now a tree in front of a door is a structural issue. There's only so much positive energy you can activate if you're blocked externally. So, you know, if it's your tree, then cut it down. If it's this, like over here in Toronto, many of the trees are owned by the city, so they can't cut it down. So you can remedy it. You can either, if you're in a house and you have a different door to use, you can use that instead of the main door, like a garage door or a side door. If you can't remedy it, then if you only have that one door, then the best remedy is a wind chime. You can use a wind chime. Okay. Yeah, Miriam, you're in Manifesting Code. Check out the first month's module around front door feng shui. You may have skipped that. I definitely went through all this. Yeah, okay, Annalie has the same question as well. Okay, so Ari says, if the front door to the house is blocked by a brick wall, do I face directly towards the wall? Or do I shift my body to face the street? So Ari, you posted this before, right? So this is the front door, and the house somehow has like another wall jutting in front of the front door, and the street is out front, right? So this is obviously case by case situation, but the situation that you posted, Ari, you're at the door, you have your compass, even though technically you're looking at that brick wall, you are still looking at the street. Okay? So your compass reading, the facing of the home is still towards the street, whether or not that brick wall is there. Okay? Front door at a T-Junction. Okay, perfect. These are the perfect example of general questions that I can answer. Thank you, Miriam. What about a front door at a T-Junction? Not good, generally. Generally not a good idea. Because the energy is too strong, especially if that's a front door that's used a lot. If this is the home, if this is a home, and there's a T-junction in front of the front door, not just in front of the house. It can be in front of the rest of the house, but if it's in front of the front door, that is where we start getting a little bit more concerned. If you are in a home and you have a T-junction in front of your door, you need to use other doors. However, and this is where fast food feng shui or general feng shui can make you lose out. I have seen quite a few homes here in Toronto that are at a T-junction, but the residents are doing very well, very, very happy, very, very prosperous. Why? It's because the energy at the door, even without the T-junction, the energy at the door is already really prosperous. The T-junction actually increases the prosperity. So these clients of mine, they couldn't sell the house because people see the T-junction thinking they are feng shui experts. They're going to not even go into the house because of the T-junction, not realizing they cast out a very prosperous home. In apartment building, can different people bring in different energies because of using the main door to the building? This is a great one. I love this question. Why? It can trigger. So let's say the door in the north is bad for the building and the door in the west is good, okay, for instance. And they're both kind of used 50-50, let's say. Let's say you're in a condo building. So people using the north, they are activating inauspicious energies for the whole building. However, they absorb more of it compared to the people who use the west door. Okay. My master, in fact, she follows, energy changes all the time. Energy is never stagnant. So the best way to Feng Shui is to Feng Shui based on permanent energy. And those of you guys who follow my annual, you Feng Shui based on the year. And those of you guys who follow manifesting code, you also know now to Feng Shui based on the month, right? So my master actually follows the daily flying star. I don't even go that deep. But she notices that on the days where her sister-in-law uses a bad door, and the sister-in-law is in the service industry, she notices on the days that she uses the bad door on a bad day, her sister-in-law would get less tips. So it affects the household, but the one using that negative door, or on the flip side, the positive door would get the energy from using that door more than the other people in the building. Okay. Hope that makes sense. It's very interesting. Like you think we make this thing up. It's all observation. And that's how the Grandmasters did it too. It's all based on observation. They start seeing a pattern when things start happening, right? Because I got that question one time. Is it just someone's imagination coming up with these formulas? It's just like willy-nilly coming up. Well, fast food Feng Shui is willy-nilly. It's just out of someone's fancy to create all these nonsensical, super myth, fast food advice. But classical Feng Shui is based on a lot of, observation on the movement of energy. Okay. My back porch door faces north and the street is very busy, plus have a pool in area. Is that bad? I put wind chime outside. Well, the question is, how much do you use the back door? The north is definitely not great this year, but if you haven't been using it that much and you have a wind chime out there, then you'd be fine. Whether or not having a pool in that area depends on your period and depends on the facing of the home. So water placement is definitely something where you need more information before I can do that. Is it true that when you open the door, you should see the oven? No, you actually should not see the the stove or the oven. I don't know if it's a typo there. You should not. Because if you're standing at the door, you open the door and you see the stove, then basically you're exposing yourself, especially financially. Because the stove is, symbolic of how you feed yourself, how you feed your family. If it is close enough to the door or is in the line of sight, then it's unprotected, it's fragile, it's exposed. So you definitely don't want that. And I've seen it where when I see those situations and I tell my client and they confirm that financially it is hard. So stove positioning is definitely really important as well. Lolita says, my main door is aligned with the back door or window. What is the remedy for it? Now my question to you, Lolita, between the front door and is it a back door or window? Is it a back door? Okay. If it's aligned with the back door, is your house empty? Will you have furniture between your front door and the back door? If you have furniture, then you're good. Again, this is something that's making a lot of you guys lose sleep. It's like, oh, never see the back door from the front door. Like, hello, just put stuff in between the two doors. You're good. That's it. All right, you guys. So, for those of you in manifesting code, hint, hint, Miriam, you have access to more of these things where we talk about bedroom feng shui, front door feng shui, kitchen feng shui. These modules are in manifesting code. If you guys want to learn more about that, you can definitely go to manifestingcode.com. I just put the link up there. But for those of you guys who want to delve a little bit deeper or needing some help in terms of determining your period, determining your facing, especially if your home is a little bit tricky, and even if you feel you can't do it on your own in terms of getting your home ready for the new year, join me in FENGSHUI-2019.com. Okay? FENGSHUI-2019.com is where we go over this, what we just covered today, and more in terms of the facing, in terms of the period, in terms of where to take your compass readings. I have this thing hanging out here. And so much more. And this weekend is webinar number 3, you guys. Those of you guys who have registered, I will be sending out an email latest tonight. So you guys will, if you still have questions, so I have videos on that. You guys can go over the videos to help you determine your period and the facing of your home. If you still have questions after watching those videos, then you can email me your layout and stuff. Don't email me yet because I have a specific email address that you need to use. If you use the wrong email address, I'm not going to take the questions from my other inbox. Okay, because I need everything streamlined in one inbox. Otherwise, I will go crazy because I already get so many emails. So in my email that I'm sending out tonight, there is one special email address where you can send your layout, send your address, and then we will, on the webinar this weekend, I will answer your questions. And it's only layout sent to that email. I'm giving you guys a warning, a heads up here. Only layout sent to that email will be addressed. Okay, if it's sent to my general email, I'm not going to take it because it just creates chaos between me and my assistant trying to get ready for the webinar. If you are not yet in FENGSHUI-2019.com, it's still not too late to register. Once you register now, you get full access to the previous 2 webinars that we've already done. And you can also join us live. If you register in time, you can join me live this weekend on the 6th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. This weekend, this Saturday, we will go over determining facing and the period. That's webinar number 3. Webinar number 4 is happening October 21st. So that's a Sunday. We will go over demarcation. How to take your layout and how to determine which room is in which direction. That's on the 21st. And then the 28th is where we talk about Feng Shui placements for the year. And then to be determined, another date in November is where we will talk about how to use the calendar. Okay, to do basic date selection. And the calendar, so I just got inspired by a couple of things that I wanted to add to the calendar. So a little bit of a delay on the calendar, but I think you guys will like it. I know I'm being a little bit contradictory in terms of I don't want you guys to be too limited in your date selection. But at the same time, and again, my Akashic Record guides tell me to give it to you guys, much to my fighting against it. I have to finally give in. My Akashic Record guides want me to give it to you guys. So I'm actually adding the 28 constellations into the calendar as well. If you guys don't know about the 28 constellations and you want to know how to do your date selection based on that, you need to join me in Feng Shui 2019. That's the only way you're going to get that information from me. Okay, thanks so much for the amazing questions. And I think you guys will love next week's topic, which I will announce in the next few days. And I have a great masterclass lined up as well. So we'll talk to you guys really soon. Take care. This is Safrina Kadri from Feng Shui and Prosper, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do try to put out a brand new video every week. So if you subscribe, then you can make sure that you don't miss out on any of the other content that will be coming out your way.